Good morning, guys. I hope we're all sparkly. Just a quick video before I take the dogs for a run. Just been to the gym. Now my mutts need their daily run. It's non-negotiable. They must go for a run. Otherwise, they are complete chaos. They are animals that live according to their physiology. They love chasing squirrels and balls to work to achieve a reward. Why am I wearing my weighted vest? Because I've just been to the gym. Why haven't I taken it off? Because I'm going to wear it walking the dogs. Why? You've already worked hard. I need to work a little harder. I need to put as much effort in as I conceivably can to earn my reward. Because we're a bunch of wusses, aren't we? Always taking the path of least resistance. Not realizing that effort equals reward. So, I was chatting to one of my ex-22 guys the other day, and he was going, "Oh, I feel amazing all the time." I was like, well, lucky you, because I don't. I've got a dodgy shoulder, a dodgy knee. At 49 years old, yes, I know it's hard to believe. 50 next year. I know you thought I was older. Yeah, I've got injuries from being a bit of an idiot when I was younger. Lifting too heavy, not understanding the need for isometric exercises, stabilize the core to allow your global muscles to work effectively for you. Ego lifting. Now I'm lifting slow and steady. I'm still going relatively heavy, but I've already put the work in. I've got a reasonable physique, but I want to make it optimal because I'm sick of being reasonable. I want to be the best version of myself, and the only person that's responsible for that is me. So I can slack if I want to, but the only person I'm cheating is me. Now, have I cheated before? Yeah. Disappointingly. Do I regret cheating? Yeah. But it is what it is. Would I be as strong if I hadn't cheated? Unlikely. But we don't know, do we? So we don't believe in regrets here. We believe in affirmative action right now to effect a positive change to your future. So whatever I've done in the past, it is what it is. So when we think about anabolic steroids, I'm kind of with Nate Diaz on this. Everybody's on steroids. If you look at a guy down the gym and go, bloody hell, yeah, it's likely he's been banging in gear. Now, what happens after you stop taking testosterone or a synthetic compound that gives you these big muscles? Well, your physiology's going, what on earth are you doing to me? So you can increase your musculature. You can increase your androgen receptors. So you can become bigger than your genetics want you to be. Now, is that sustainable? No, because it's bigger than your genetics wants you to be. So you see all these guys who have done steroids, who are still big. They're either still doing gear or they're on testosterone replacement therapy. Hopefully they are on a therapeutic dose, not a sports dose, because obviously harm can happen as a result of going too high. Well, what harm can happen? Well, we've already spoken about this numerous times. Raised hematocrit, lipid dysregulation. This doesn't work properly. We want you to be cool, calm and considered, balanced in a society that needs balance. You need to be the director of your own real-time movie. And if you're running too high, you're not objective, you're not considered. What else? Well, it's disappointing, isn't it? Because you kind of think, right, I'll just do a couple of cycles and that'll be me done and I'll feel amazing and I'll retain this size, not realizing you can't retain that size. But it's the addictive nature of anabolic steroids that's harmful. Not only is it the physical dysregulation that happens, but it's the psychological dysregulation. So what are you doing? Well, if you're doing a 12-week cycle, you might feel absolutely amazing. But that's obviously not sustainable, and the steroid boys know it's not sustainable, which is why you do a 12-week cycle and you don't just stay on steroids forever, because even they know it causes harm. But your new normal becomes dysregulated. So it's not like doing another illicit substance that only lasts for a few hours. This new normality is uncomfortable because it's not sustainable. And well, my medical researcher Joseph's going to do a more detailed, scientific, peer-reviewed article on the downregulation of receptors. Now, we spoke very briefly last time about ADHD and the reason why they give stimulants to people who are overstimulated, because obviously you're going to downregulate your receptors. So it's no different with steroids, is it? So you are going to downregulate your receptors. And as we've spoken about numerous times before, testosterone has a relationship with dopamine. As men, we are reward driven. If you downregulate dopamine, you can't achieve your reward. And this isn't going to work properly. You're not going to feel as happy as you should feel. So what do? Well, yeah, it looks like you might need testosterone replacement therapy, because if you're under a decent clinician, they're going to safely and effectively titrate your dose according to response to get you back to normal. But has your normal gone? Well, we don't know, do we? Because we don't know. But now is now, and you have to concentrate on now. So, after you stop steroids, you can do two things. You can just come off and just obviously hope to recover, or you can do a medically supervised restart protocol, or what the bros called PCT, post-cycle therapy. Now, this is where science doesn't necessarily meet medicine, or medicine doesn't really necessarily meet science. When we did an audit back in the day, 40% of our steroid users had done PCT and hadn't recovered. Now, it makes sense that PCT stroke medically supervised restart protocol should work. High dose HCG, yep, to stimulate the testicles to produce testosterone. Clomid to trick the brain into thinking it hasn't got any testosterone, so it sends LH and FSH down to the testicles. And tamoxifen, but we use raloxifene because it's more effective. A selective estrogen receptor modulator, which prevents the excess estradiol that's going to be converted as a result of the high dose HCG from making you feel terrible. Now, it can be a hell of a roller coaster ride, but it kind of makes sense that it should work. So why doesn't it work? Well, because physiology is a little bit more complicated than we make out or really understand. Now, just think what you've done. You've made yourself bigger than your physiology wants you to be, and really can be from a sustainable perspective. So you've got bigger muscles, so you've got more androgen receptors, and you think that your body's going to be able to produce more LH, to produce more testosterone, to feed those muscles so that you can function normally. When you've done gear, no chance. Absolutely no chance. So even if you do recover, that recovery is likely to be temporary, because you're too big for your genetics. You're too big for your physiology. So, anabolic steroids. They are used in medicine for immunocompromised in cancer patients. Very rarely now, obviously. But they're used to normalize, not make you bigger than life. Because if you're bigger than life, you are not life. You are unsustainable. You are going to crash, because you have to crash, because that's the nature of the beast. So do steroids with caution, guys. I would strongly recommend not doing it, because you don't know how great you can be without. Don't take the path of least resistance. If you have done steroids and you haven't recovered, do seek help. You're not going to be judged. by a private clinic. You'll be judged by the NHS and it'll be on your record. But low testosterone is no joke. Lots of my patients have been suicidal. Horrible, utterly horrible. So with a good testosterone level, the right mindset, looking at your sleep, your stress, your nutrition, your exercise, you can be normal. To be the best version of yourself. Work, work, work. Have a good day, guys, and go earn your reward.